Catherine Towell Knox, commonly known as Kittie Knox, was a pioneering African-American cyclist who broke racial and gender barriers in the sport of cycling during the late 19th century. Her story is particularly significant in the context of Black women's history and the broader struggle for racial and gender equality in sport. Kittie Knox was born on October 7, 1874, in East Cambridge, Massachusetts. Her parents were Catherine Towell, a white mill worker from Maine, and John Knox, a black tailor from Philadelphia. The family later moved to Boston in the 1880s, where Knox grew up and eventually worked as a seamstress and dressmaker. He had one brother, Ernest Knox. Knox became an avid cyclist at a time when both racial and gender discrimination were significant barriers in the sport. She joined the League of American Wheelmen, LAW, in 1893, a national cycling organization that promoted the sport and organized races. However, in 1894, law changed its constitution to exclude Black members, enforcing a whites-only policy. Despite this, Knox's membership was upheld in 1895 when the organization clarified that constitutional changes were not retroactive. Her participation in cycling was met with resistance. She was often denied access to races, as well as accommodations such as restaurants and hotels while traveling for competitions. Nonetheless, she continued to race and gained recognition for both her skill and her fashion sense. She frequently wore stylish cycling outfits that defied the era's traditional expectations for women. Kittie Knox was known for her strength, endurance, and impressive cycling skills. One of her significant accomplishments was winning first place in a law meeting in Waltham, Massachusetts, where she outperformed many of her male competitors. In addition to this victory, Knox was known for completing century rides, which are grueling 100-mile races that tested both physical stamina and mental toughness. Century rides were often seen as an achievement of immense endurance, and by completing them, Knox not only demonstrated her athleticism, but also challenged the idea that women were too delicate or weak for such intense physical activity. Moreover, Knox became a fashion icon within the cycling world. During a time when women were often confined to restrictive clothing, Knox defied conventions by wearing stylish, fashionable cycling outfits that allowed for movement while maintaining an appearance of elegance. This attention to her attire became a part of her identity as a cyclist, further emphasized her challenge to gender norms in a male-dominated sport. Kittie Knox's life was tragically short. She died at the young age of 26 on October 11, 1900, from kidney disease. Despite her relatively short life, her impact on cycling and the fight for racial and gender equality has endured. Knox was buried in Mount Auburn Cemetery in a public lot. For many years, she was largely forgotten by history, but in 2013, her family erected a headstone in her honor, ensuring her legacy would not be lost to time. In 2019, the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts, named a bicycle path after her, the Kittie Knox Bike Path. This path, which connects Broadway and Binney Street in Cambridge, serves as a permanent reminder of her contributions to cycling and her role in challenging both racial and gender-based discrimination in sports. Kittie Knox's legacy is not just about her victories or her defiance of the racial and gender discrimination of her time, but also about her resilience and determination to carve out space for herself in a world that often denied her the right to participate. As the first African-American woman to be admitted to the League of American Wheelmen, she broke important barriers, and her involvement in cycling played a key role in the inclusion of Black and female athletes in the sport. Her story remains a powerful example of perseverance in the face of adversity and serves as an inspiration to athletes, particularly Black women, who continue to fight for equality in sports today.